no better feeling than coming home after a job well done. For the Fordham Rams, a job well done is putting it lightly.
Jackie looking to attack. There's 3 seconds. He's got to go. 2 seconds. Jackie with 1. Jackie, the lefty floater. He got it! He got it at the buzzer! Jackie Johnson wins the game for the Rams!
Fordham got their first win of the season on Saturday, and they did so in thrilling fashion, upsetting Seton Hall on their turf at the buzzer. Now the Rams get to return to the Bronx for the first time this season, where they'll be greeted by the loyal Rose Hill fans. Fordham is celebrating 100 years at the Rose Hill Gym. Let's see if the Rams can do a little celebrating of their own. Fordham versus Binghamton. Men's basketball home opener. Live from the Rose Hill Gym on WFUV Sports. Fordham basketball is back in the Bronx, the 100th anniversary of the Rose Hill Gym, and that's our site for the Fordham men's basketball home opener. The Fordham Rams, the Binghamton University Bearcats. What's up, everybody? Lou Orlando, Nick Guzman, our sidelines reporter, Isabella Terracini, and we're thrilled to have basketball back in the Bronx. Well, Nick, we're celebrating 100 years of the Rose Hill Gym. Fordham men's basketball did some celebrating on Saturday. You were there as they upset Seton Hall 57-56. The buzzer beater from Jackie Johnson III. It's hard to think of a better ending to that game against the Big East opponents.
Game against Seton Hall is really going to go down as an iconic win in the history of Fordham men's basketball because Fordham have not won a game against a high major opponent on the road since 2005. An iconic victory for several different reasons. Fordham hung with Seton Hall tough down the stretch the whole game. Defensively, they were in a full court press and really made it tough for the Pirates to be able to do anything offensively. Fordham forced a ton of turnovers, scored a ton of points in transition. But then down the stretch in that game, Fordham down by 4 with 30 seconds to go. It seemed so unlikely. Will Richardson gets fouled on a three-point shot, shoots 3 free throws, nails all 3. Then Seton Hall turns the ball over. That sets the table for Jackie Johnson's game winner. But what an effort. It really seems like the kind of win that could spark Fordham for the rest of this season.
You were looking for a confidence boost. Our head coach, Keith Ergo, went out of his way to make this non-conference schedule challenging. And not just the non-conference schedule, the start of the non-conference schedule. You open the season with St. John's and Seton Hall back-to-back, and after losing the season opener against St. John's by 32 points, to rally, win the Seton Hall game the way you did, there's no better precursor to your home opener. A lot of talk about Rose Hill, Rose Thrill, whether or not the student section was going to be packed. And Nick, we're looking over at 6:55 p.m. and you can barely see any open seats over there.
Listen, Lou, this is the 100th year anniversary of the Rose Hill Gym. If this Fordham basketball team wins games, students are gonna show up. Last season, non-conference, they dropped a couple rough games against Dartmouth, against CCSU, games that were in front of a packed house and fans were here and wanted to support. The results just weren't there. But if this Fordham basketball team can put together good results on their home court, we're gonna see Rose Thrill like we did 2 years ago.
Fordham Binghamton, Fordham men's basketball home opener. We'll get you all set up for this one. Before we do, Nick and I caught up with men's basketball head coach Keith Ergo.
Lou Orlando, Nick Guzman with Fordham men's basketball head coach Keith Ergo. Coach, thoughts on an upset win against Seton Hall?
Yeah, I was so proud of the way we responded from Monday night against St. John's. We knew that wasn't us, and credit to St. John's for making us play that way, but we knew it was going to be a hostile environment. I was just really proud of whether or not we won or lost. The goal was to just continue the process of getting better and more connected. With any group, you got to learn how to trust one another, and connection is the most important piece to this season. And we know we have the talent, we know we have the depth to compete with most teams, but we got to continue to learn how to trust one another. And I thought we took a major step forward with that.
Coach, obviously, Jackie's buzzer beater gets the headlines, but defensively, the effort was superb. And you guys forced 15 turnovers, scored 19 points off those turnovers. Just how pleased were you with that defensive effort and the fact you guys were able to maintain that press for a whole game?
Yeah, our identity is defending and rebounding, and we lost our way a little bit, and we focused a lot on practices this past week on that. And again, really proud of the way we responded, the energy, the effort. And that's what we're trying to do here. It's a little bit different of a style than we've had in recent years because of our depth and our athleticism. So we want to take advantage of that. And I think it's a really fun style of play. I think our guys enjoy it. And I think our fans will too.
You had talked about coming into the season, you wanted to challenge yourself. The first 2 games, it's a good test for A-10 play where there's high major talent there as well. Just thoughts on the level of play against St. John's and Seton Hall, how you guys stacked up against 2 Big East schools.
Yeah, I think we stack up pretty well. I think the A-10 has stacked itself. I think if you look around, you see, Dayton, Northwestern, obviously they beat them, and you see VCU, the way they played against Boston College and some of the other Atlantic 10 teams. Now we've had some tough ones as well, but for the most part, I think the Atlantic 10 is as good as any league in the country this year. I really do, and it has a lot to do with the maturity, the experience, and the depth the league has. So for us, it was a great challenge early on. Seton Hall, Coach Holloway is going to have that team rolling. That he will. He's such a good coach, and they're going to continue to get better. So for us, it was a great challenge early, but Binghamton tomorrow night presents a really, really big challenge for us. They do a funky things on defense. They got a big lineup. They got some guys who can make some shots. The kid Walsh, 21-10 against the ACC team is big time, and so we got to really make sure that we put our hard hats on and we create a lot of energy in this building.
Now the home opener against Binghamton. How exciting is it to return to Rose Hill to open up a new season at home after these 2 tough games?
There's nothing like it, man. Rose Thrill hopefully is thrilling tomorrow night. We want obviously to create that home court advantage we saw 2 years ago and at moments last year. We see the energy it can create. Our guys couldn't be more excited. They've been working so hard since June 1st. I really hope the fan base understands and wants to be a part of what we think is going to be a really special year. And it's special because of the sharing in the experience that we have, this 100-year anniversary of Rose Thrill. It just brings so much energy. It's so loud when the fans are rocking. Hopefully we get some shirtless herd out here. And, these guys are just looking forward to getting an opportunity to showcase it in front of their own student body and their own alumni.
Coach, thank you.
Go Rams.
Back with you in the historic Rose Hill Gym, Lou Orlando, Nick Guzman, Fordham men's basketball home opener on WFUV Sports. And let's take a look at the starting fives. No changes in the Fordham starting 5. Jaffe Medor, Jackie Johnson III, Will Richardson, Ramon Dean, and Matt Zona. And Jackie Johnson III, once again, he is the story. Leads the game with 18 points, and the last 2 were the most critical.
And it felt like last season what Fordham were missing was someone exactly like Jackie Johnson, someone not afraid to shoot the ball in any situation. There were times in that Seton Hall game where Jackie was missing. Same thing in the St. John's game. He started 0 for 3 in Seton Hall, quiet first half as well, but all it takes is one of those shots to go in and he wakes up, and he woke up in the second half, and he led this Fordham team. Offensively, it seems like through 2 games, Jackie's going to be the catalyst of almost everything Fordham wants to do.
On the Binghamton side, this is a Bearcats team that is on the rise, led by Lavelle Sanders, his 4th season at Binghamton. They've got your starting lineup. Jaden Lamont, number 1, the sophomore point guard. Their shooting guard, their leading scorer, Taimu Shinnery, graduate student from Philadelphia. At the 3, the sophomore guard, Evan Ash. At the 4, Gavin Walsh, America East all-rookie team. And at the 5, making a first start of his 2024-25 campaign, Nehemiah Benson. Well, through 3 games, he leads them in scoring with 11.7 points per game. Only 3 games, but they have 5 different players in double-digit scoring right now. So this is a Binghamton team that maybe not going to wow you with star power. They have some. Shinnery lit it up last year, but definitely some talent and some offensive capabilities.
And this is a Binghamton team that's really tested themselves early on in this non-conference schedule. I mean, talk about a tough way to start the season. Away against Penn State, away against Miami, and of course Fordham not in the same caliber as those schools, but it's not easy to come to the Rose Hill Gym for Fordham's home opener and an atmosphere like this. So Binghamton really testing themselves, this season. Taimu Shinnery really giving the keys to the offense after some players last season graduated, but there's a lot of different players who can score the basketball. Maybe not one that stands out, it's going to be a superstar, but a balanced offensive attack for Binghamton.
This is a Binghamton team that just 1 season ago averaged over 70 points per game. They were led by Shinnery. He led the team with 14.9 points per game. He returns for his graduate student season. They bring in a transfer. We'll see him off the bench, and Ben Callahan Gold after lighting it up at the Division III level. So you kind of worry, I think, if you're the Fordham Rams, is this a trap game? Is this a letdown game? And I talked to Andrew Posadas, who's doing the ESPN broadcast with Andrew Bogus, an FUV alum, and he said, this is the game to prove that you're different from last year. Because you think back to last season, there were statement wins. Unfortunately, they were followed up with letdowns and losses. Fordham could never string together the momentum. This is the game to prove. This is not last year. We're a different team.
Listen, Lou, Saturday was such a high for everyone involved in that game winner. I mean, you go away at Seton Hall, the most dramatic way to win that game. It is in the realm of possibility that Fordham maybe take the foot off the gas in this game against Binghamton, but that can't happen. In order to build momentum in this school and this community around this program as we head towards conference play at the start of 2025, you need to win these games at your home court. You need to start stacking together victories, put together a winning streak, and really sort of raise the profile of basketball at this school.
Well, the student section to our left is packed to the brim.
Love to see it.
You love to see it. It's something that head coach Keith Ergo has been harping on the last 3 years, how important the home court advantage has been and can be for the Fordham Rams. And this Fordham fan base, this Fordham community showing out after a statement win on Saturday. It was interesting. We talked to Will Richardson before the season started, and he said, no, we have to earn that support. They did their job on the road. Now it's time to do that job at home.
I 100% agree with Will. If Fordham men's basketball wins games at home this season, expect the student section to be packed just as it was 2 years ago, as it is right now. Maybe not any shirtless fans in the front two rows right now, but we might get there
not
once
yet.
we get to conference play.
It's still early.
Still
it's
non-conference.
Still 7:03 p.m.
Yes. Some shirts might come off.
Here's the tip, won by Binghamton. We're underway. Basketball in the Bronx for the first time this season. Lamont guarded by Johnson up top. Passes left to Walsh on the wing. Back to Lamont. Off a screen, right wing, bounces inside. Benson, right block, kicks out. Shinnery. Back up top to Lamont, drives the left lane, kicks out, stolen away. Opening 30 seconds into the hands of the junior Will Richardson. Here's Jaffe Medor on the script O of the Fordham logo. Shows it back for Richardson into the hands of Jackie Johnson III. 18 points on Saturday. Wants the lob for Richardson, sails it over his head, a turnover out of bounds.
Now that would have lit up the student section, Lou. A lob following a steal, but defensively I want to focus. Fordham were so good in that game against Seton Hall. In that press, they come out doing the exact same thing against Binghamton.
They forced 19 turnovers against St. John's, 15 on Saturday against Seton Hall. Here's Lamond at half court. Again, Johnson meets him. Hand off for Walsh, top of the key, curls down to the elbow, dribbles off his ankle and out of bounds. 2 early miscues for Binghamton.
How about 2 turnovers forced for Fordham to start this game? I mean, they swarmed against Seton Hall, they swarmed against St. John's. You definitely expect that same thing to happen here against Binghamton.
Ergo raved to us about the defensive pressure against Seton Hall on Saturday, especially down the stretch, and seeing that defensive pressure once again. Medor hands off for Johnson. Passes left for Richardson. Opening minute of basketball here in the Rose Hill Gym. Jackie Johnson, right wing. Up top for Dean. Swings it left, Richardson. 13 on the shot clock. Bounce to Zona, top of the key. Swings it right, Medor. 5 on the shot clock. Medor, right wing 3, off right iron. Zona tips it off the backboard and Binghamton controls. Minute and a half down in our first half. Still awaiting the first bucket. Here's Lamond up top, this time met by Medor. Passes right for Gavin Walsh. Back to Lamond, drives right elbow 2, that one won't go. Jackson the rebound. Johnson pushes 3 on 2, Richardson open 3, no good. Good looking transition there. Richardson couldn't hit. 11 points against Seton Hall, second on the Fordham Rams on Saturday. There's Shinnery. Zona switches on to him. Shinnery double. His bounce pass to Benson. Richardson swipes at it, and it stays here with Binghamton.
And you mentioned those 11 points from Will against Seton Hall, but I think even more impressive was what he did on the defensive end, really locking down those talented guards from the Pirates, gets his hand in the passing lane there, and forces the sideline out of bounds.
There has been a noticeable shift in Richardson's defense this year. Walsh drives, takes the contact, Can't get the shot to fall, but draws the foul from Jaffe Medor down low.
And Jaffe Medor is going to be a key to watching this game because offensively in those first two games against St. John's and Seton Hall, not to the level that you expect from someone like him. 7 points in both those games. 2 of 8 shooting against Seton Hall. Also turned the ball over 3 times. Looked a little bit exposed on the defensive end as well. But Jaffe, in Coach Irgo's eyes, is a big part of this Fordham team. He's going to play. He's going to get minutes. It's just about being productive.
Gavin Walsh in a wide stance sinks the first free throw. Binghamton leads 1-0. Ulterior point, Medor, I think, is one of the X factors on this Rams team, which averaging 13.3 points per game prior to fracturing his ankle on January 17th. Played through the injury the rest of the way, but his production dipped. They expect him to revert back to the explosive player he was prior to the injury. Walsh goes 2 for 2 from the line. Binghamton ahead 2-0. 17:35 to play in the half. Here's Richardson, kicks out Dean, open left wing 3, that one goes, and the crowd explodes.
Ramad Dean not as involved offensively as you would have liked early on in this season, but he can take that shot in open 3, and the student section shows their support.
Rams have their first lead of the ball game, 3-2, 17:15 to play. And here the defense chants come from the Fordham Rams crowd. Lamont dishes inside for Benson, the paint 2 goes. Binghamton retakes the lead, 4-3, opening 3 minutes. Medor hesitates, shovels back for Johnson, right wing. Up top to Richardson. Richardson drives left into the paint, kicks out Dean, left wing 3, no good off right iron. Lamond will push the other way, 16:45 left in the first. Into the corner, Benson fakes, now works his way back into the paint, spins around, the righty fade, no good. Johnson controls on the far side. Rams trailing by 1. The student section seated for the moment. Richardson on the left wing, bobbles, drives, hangs in the air, he's blocked, and Benson controls. Here's Shinnery the other way. Resets up top to Lamond, loud rejection down in the paint by the Binghamton Bearcats. Lamond, paint feed for Benson, far short corner. Goes to the right block for Walsh, goes up, blocked by Zona. Zona the outlet feed to Medor, in transition, crossover. And whistle dead, draws the foul along the right elbow. Jaffe Medor almost put the works on him going the other way.
But that starts from good defense from Matt Zona on the defensive end. You know, Abdu Timbila against Seton Hall, who was getting ready to check in the game before he had in his immediate timeout. 11 rebounds, 5 blocks, really made his presence felt. But Zona, also against Seton Hall, did his job in the paint, and he did right there, getting the block and leading to the Medor opportunity in transition.
First 4 minutes of basketball here from the Rose Hill Gym. Binghamton, a 4-3 lead. It's Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey guys, it's Will Richardson from Fordham men's basketball. You can catch all our games on 90.7 FM and the WFUV Sports YouTube page. And make sure to fill the hill this season as we celebrate 100 years in the Rose Hill Gym. WFUV is the home of Fordham basketball. Let's go Rams.
Hi, this is Spiro Ditas, WFUV class of 2001. WFUV is the epicenter of Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, men's and women's basketball, and of course, our iconic Saturday show, One on One. So keep your radios locked in right here, 90.7 FM, for all things WFUV sports.
Orlando, Nick Guzman, Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports. Opening 4 minutes, Binghamton a 4-3 lead. But Nick, boy, is it good to have Fordham basketball back in the Rose Hill Gym. The big question is going to be, is this home sweet home for the Rams in that special 2022-23 season? The Rams 18-2 at the Rose Hill Gym. Last year, not so sweet of a story. The Rams go 6-11 and had some real stinkers here. So I think a big question is there going to be home court advantage this year?
I think it's kind of the thing that goes both ways. If Fordham can win this game against Binghamton, stack up some early wins on home court, then the fortress that the Rose Hill Gym can be will really come to life because students will get behind it and everyone will come out and support. But when you start losing conference games early, the support starts to dwindle, and then you're just playing your games on any random court instead of the historic Rose Hill Gym that can get as loud as any venue in college basketball. But for these Fordham Rams to be successful, as we saw 2 years ago, they need to pack the Rose Hill Gym and they need to win their games on home court.
Well, the gym is packed. Let's see if Fordham can garner the energy that they failed to draw last year. Baseline inbound, Rivera to Dean, left elbow, whips around, and an early whistle. Holding foul. Looks like that one going against Nehemiah Benson.
So Rivera and Timbila both checking in here early. Rivera didn't shoot the ball as well as he would have liked versus Seton Hall. 7 points on just 3 of 9 shooting, 2 turnovers. But he's a guy who is always going to attack. He's pass second, shoot first, and that sort of aggression is something Fordham's going to need tonight.
Rivera feeds Dean in the left elbow again. Whips around, spins into the paint. Kicks out Rivera in the corner. Takes a step in. The jumper bounces out. Richardson grabs the offensive rebound. Hop step into the paint. Kicks out for Johnson. Johnson drives inside. Floater with the left hand. It's too strong. Timbila slaps at it. Johnson corrals the offensive rebound. A third chance for the Rams. Deep three. No good. And this time the rebound by Benson. So the lead for Binghamton stays at 1. But Fordham showing some strength on the offensive glass. Lamont drives left. Feeds Shinnery wide open down low. Easy bank.
Miscommunication there between Rivera and Johnson about who's supposed to pick up Shinnery, and an easy 2.
Wide open, cut to the basket. Lamond makes the easy feed. Binghamton leads by 3. Here's Dean straight on, shovels back for Johnson. Swings it left for Rivera. Open 3, it's good. Tie game 6-6, under 15 to play.
And the press here again, Lou, off the make. Trying to cause some chaos in the backcourt.
Johnson and Dean in the face of Lamont. Picks up his dribble. Baseball pass to Shinnery. Bounces across to Benson. Puts it off glass and draws the foul.
And that's exactly how you have to break that Fordham press. The long ball up ahead. When Fordham with 3 players pushing up in the backcourt, guys are going to be open up the court. And the overhand pass leads to a 2-on-1. And an and-1 opportunity coming here for Benson.
Here's Nehemiah Benson through 3 games, 11.7 points per game. This is his first start of the season. After starting 20 games last year, a 60% shooter from the line last year to finish off the N1. That one goes nothing but net. Binghamton ahead 9-6, 14:40 to play in the first. Richardson controls. No subs for the Rams. Hands off Rivera. Resets for Johnson the third. Here's Dean. Plays catch with Johnson. Bounce down low for Timbila. Right post, backs his way into the basket, turns around, righty hook rolls out. Dean fights for the rebound, but it's secured by Binghamton.
That's the shot for Abdu, using his size, getting into the post. Just not quite, doesn't have the touch off the glass.
Lamont bounces inside, a wide open Shinnery slams it down. 5-point lead for the Bearcats.
More miscommunication defensively from the Rams leads to another easy bucket underneath. This isn't quite the defensive showing that we saw against Seton Hall on Saturday.
Fordham trailing by 5 as they allow 2 wide open cuts for Binghamton's top scorer last year. Johnson looking for an open pass, finds Rivera left wing. Jabs, drives inside, stops at the free throw line. Kicks out to Johnson, 5 on the shot clock. Johnson drives right, kicks out. Richardson, as the shot clock expires, an air ball.
It's been so uneven offensively for Fordham early on in this one. It seems like they're taking really late into the shot clock to get into their sets. Looks like some confusion offensively. It's just been an uneven start, leading to just those 6 points on 2 of 11 shooting.
Urgo told us that Binghamton's going to do some funky things defensively. Not sure if we've seen them yet, but either way, Fordham doesn't look super comfortable on the offensive end.
No, definitely not. But they're going to continue here at the press, try to maybe get some points in transition if they can force a steal.
Walsh feeds Lamond on the near side. Richardson right in his face as he takes it up. Here comes Rivera as well. Open feed for Benson. Sails over his head and out of bounds. They had a wide open man down the post.
So the baseball pass up ahead is the play to make, but the reason why you press like that is because it's not an easy pass to make. That time it gets airmailed, and Fordham forced another turnover.
Jaffe Medor checks in. Jackie Johnson, the third, will take his first seat of the night. Dean left elbow. Hands off Richardson. Wheeling around. Feed down low for Timbila. Timbila left block. Knocks Ash to the ground. And they call the offensive foul on Abdu Timbila. And the Rose Hill fans will give the refs a piece of their mind.
He leaned in there with the shoulder. Ash, I guess, had his feet set and took a tumble. Looked like an offensive foul from here, but Fordham, no matter what the personnel is out there so far, Zach Riley checks into the game. Still such an uneven start offensively.
Zona will check in for Timbila. Ramon Dean takes a seat for Zach Riley, as you mentioned, entering the game. Fordham shortened their bench against Seton Hall. We'll see how deep it is today. Ash crosses the timeline, drives left, slams it down with two hands. Binghamton finding success in transition.
And not enough pressure there in the lane from the Fordham defense. Blew right by Matt Zona, and the easy slam. That's 3 in a row, uncontested buckets for Binghamton.
Binghamton ahead 13-6. Richardson, top of the key, thinks about the three, swings right for Wiley, wide open, Wiley sinks the right wing three. Fordham's back within 4. Fordham pressuring in the forecourt. Walsh, over the head pass to Ash, crosses the timeline, into the hands of Lamond. Lamond guarded by Medor. Hands it off, it's tipped, but gets to Shinnery. Shinnery, left wing, swarmed. Pass deflected out to Ash. 3 on the shot clock, contested 3. Ash won't go. Off right iron, Richardson the rebound. Outlet pass for Rivera. Rivera down low. Stops in the paint, kicks out Richardson. Open 3. That one goes. Fordham back within 1, less than 12 to play.
12 points on the board for the Rams on 4 made threes. This Fordham team has been taking a lot of threes early on this season and cashing them here against Binghamton.
Richardson tips it. It's stolen by Medor. Ahead to Riley, right side. Kicks out Richardson. Corner 3, no good. Rivera grabs the offensive board. Fordham will reset, trailing by 1. Here's Medor on the left wing. Drives left. Contested by Shinnery. Draws the foul. The shot won't go, but Medor going to the line after the media timeout.
That's who you need more from Medor, is going north to south as opposed to east-west on the perimeter. He's fast enough to get that first step on the defender like he did just there, drawing the foul, and he'll shoot 2 from the line.
Oh, what had been a lifeless and rather drab sequence for the Fordham Rams. All of a sudden, Will Richardson's 3, some strong defense, and Fordham back within 1 with 11:21 to play.
It's getting those steals defensively. That pressure puts so much on Binghamton to do something in the backcourt, and they force some turnovers here. And you go down in transition, you got numbers, open shooters, and so far, Fordham shooting just 4 of 14 from the field, but 4 of 10 from 3.
Well, with this, let's welcome in the third member of our broadcast crew, Isabella Terracini. What do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. I just want to bring a little bit more attention to the bench here. I mean, you see Keith Ergo high-fiving all of the grad students, all of the players, and even the student managers, and I think that's what makes a great coach. You also see all of the players that are benched and all of, like, the other coaches, and even the 2 grad students that played last year that are now grad students. They are just so excited about this team and this home opener, and I think this is going to be a great season and a great game.
It's been an exciting start, and thank you, Isabella. Well, it's been a pretty exciting start to the Fordham men's basketball home opener, and this Fordham crowd, maybe the lid hasn't come off it just yet, but you've seen the flashes of when the ref makes a call, they're going to get in his face. The traditional things you usually see from the Rose Throw crowd.
And I think if that last Will Richardson 3 went in, I think maybe the lid would have come off this place just because of what Fordham had done in this last sequence. But Lou, and we talked to Coach Ergo yesterday, he was almost pleading for the students to come out and show support like they did 2 years ago. And right now, as we look over that student section, I mean, it is full and it's energetic, and I think that's something to play
quick, especially in college basketball. A game can turn Boy, I'm looking, they couldn't do anything right, and all of a sudden, a 6-0 run in 90 seconds. Talk about this crowd. I think what really defined the Fordham Rose-Throw crowd 2 years ago was the shirtless herd. I think that's the big question in everyone's mind. Even Ergo
Who's taking their shirt off?
Who's taking the shirt off? We need to know.
I might have some bets, but
the PSA to the Fordham community, I would say, take your shirt off.
someone has to take their shirt off.
Chaz McAdams, take your shirt off, man.
Maybe not in this game, but maybe in the future towards conference play, someone's got to take their shirt off. If one person does it, it'll be a ripple effect.
Mador to the line, sinks the first free throw, even at 13, 11-21 left in the first.
When Jaffe, before the media timeout, when he attacks north to south, when he gets to the basket, he's quick enough to get there and get into a positive position, whether it's drawing the foul like he did here or just finishing at the rim.
2-for-2 trip for Mador. The Rams lead 14-13. Johnson flying in, steals it off the inbound, but it's tipped up and recovered by Binghamton. Outlet pass to Shinnery, reverse layup doesn't go, and Riley the rebound. Into the hands of Mador, dribbling quickly, kicks out Zona. 3, off left iron, and the rebound by Walsh. Walsh, America East All-Rookie team last year. They started the first, now 4 games for the Binghamton Bearcats. Lamond. There's Chris Walker off the bench, hands off to Shinnery. Back out to Lamond, 10 on the shot clock. Back into the hands of Shinnery, left wing, drives inside, splits 2 defenders. Contested shot, trickles out of bounds. Tough to see what the call is. I don't think a foul. Looks like just staying here with Binghamton.
See how pumped up Keith Ergo was after that play. Matt Zonas hanging tall in the paint, putting his hands up. He's huge. He can cause a lot of disruption just by doing that.
4 on the shot clock. Lamond doesn't know. Takes the shot, but too late. Shinnery on the inbound feed. Lamond not paying attention to the clock. And that's an easy turnover forced by the Fordham Rams.
And this happened in the Seton Hall game, too. Fordham forcing a ball out of bounds late in the shot clock. The other team not knowing how much time is left, and another first turnover. Fordham's defensive intensity really ramping up here these last few minutes.
10.5 to play in the first half. Fordham leads by 1. Zach Riley holds the ball up top. We've got an off-ball foul. We called on number 21, Ben Callahan Gold. Started the first 3 games for Binghamton. Today came off the bench with Benson getting the start. Zach Riley, the trigger man, the baseline inbound. Fordham in a box. There's the lob to Rivera, right elbow. Steps behind the wing, takes the 3. Too strong. Foul on the floor, and looks like they're going to get Callahan Gold again.
Thought for a second they were going to get Zona for an over the back there, but it's Callahan Gold, Division III product from Trinity College. A great Division III player. Struggled a little bit in those games against Penn and Miami, but was really good against SUNY Oneonta.
Callahan Gold checks out. Benson back in. Baseline feed to Mador. Drives into the paint. Goes up, takes contact. The shot rolls in. Tough shot by Jaffe Mador.
And in those first 2 games, Lou, against St. John's and Seton Hall, it's not like Jaffe Mador wasn't getting good looks. They just weren't falling. Being able to get inside there, absorb the contact, and finish at the rim. He's as good of a finisher at the rim as this Fordham team has, and this looks like so far it's going to be a better night for Jaffe.
Fordham leads by 3 after the 2 from Mador. Here's the extra free throw. That one goes. 17-13, the Binghamton lead. To your point, Mador entering today. 4 of 19 from the field, 0 of 6 from 3. Ash crosses the timeline. Passes left for Benson, swatted down by Zona. Mador takes it the other way. Clock ticks under 10 minutes. Mador hesitates, drives, fades away, rolls out. Walsh the rebound. Lamond will take it up slowly now. Riley out to meet him at the half-court line. Benson feeds the paint for a cutting Chris Walker. Pass too far out of his reach, and another turnover forced by the Rams.
You see what he wanted to do there. The pass just never had a chance to get to Walker. But it's this aggressive Fordham defense that's up in your face, even when you're on the perimeter as a Binghamton guard. There's no space to breathe, and that really has impacts as this game continues.
6 turnovers forced in the first 10 minutes by the Fordham Rams. Johnson off a handoff, dribbles right elbow, 2, nothing but net. Jackie Johnson, the third on the board. Binghamton calls timeout as Fordham extends their lead to 6.
And don't be surprised here if Jackie, after he missed his first two, knocks that one down. If all of a sudden he's feeling his shot and starts shooting a lot and they start going down. He's a field shooter, and we've seen it in this season. We've seen it in the preseason. When Jackie Johnson gets going, it's a scary sight for Binghamton. 19-13 Rams. Man, that happened fast.
It happened fast, and I like where your head's at with Jackie Johnson the third. What do we call him? We call him a microwave. He's looking to see if he can't get going. We'll see if that might time out. Kind of impressive to see the Rams get out to this lead largely without Jackie Johnson III. Entering today, Jackie Johnson accounting for 35% of the Rams scoring. He's really been what makes this offense tick so far, but they're going to need other options.
There are capable secondary scorers on this Fordham team, whether it's Richardson or Medor.
Baseball pass tipped by Zona into the hands of Shinnery. Lefty layup goes on the feed from Walsh.
There's capable secondary scorers on this Fordham team. The shots just haven't been falling early. Maybe that's because you're playing two Big East teams in St. John's and Seton Hall that are very talented. And maybe in a game like this, guys like Medor, like Richardson and Zona can step up and contribute more on the offensive end.
Binghamton cuts the lead to 4. Here's Johnson, takes the left wing three. It's short. The rebound by Shinnery. And this time, I think Matt Zona going up for that rebound. Gets called for the foul.
And Jackie takes a lot of those threes from deep beyond the arc. That's something Coach Ergo has said. Maybe shot selection could be a little bit better at times, but he's proven that he can make those shots, but possibly you want to see a better look, maybe closer to the three-point arc for Jackie.
Binghamton looking to counteract what is at the moment a 13-2 run by the Fordham Rams over the last 4 minutes of play. Intercepted by Richardson. Sends it back for Johnson. Johnson looking for a kick out, instead dribbles behind the line. Richardson swings right for Rivera. Drives, loses it. But a reach-in foul called on Binghamton. It looks like Evan Ash, the guilty party.
That's 7 turnovers now for Binghamton in this game. The backcourt pressure, they don't know how to deal with it yet. And Fordham in the bonus, Josh Rivera will shoot some free throws.
That is the 7th foul for the Binghamton Bearcats. Nick, you're all over it. Josh Rivera going to the line. Rivera's first. Off the back of the rim and out. His free throw struggles continue.
Again, it's going to be a story until it's not. He was 0 for 2 from the line coming into this game, now 0 for 3 on the season. If Josh Rivera can hit his free throws, he's one of the best players in the Atlantic 10, but he hasn't proven so far that he's able to do that.
It's been the big thing he's struggled with in his 3-year career. Rivera tries to jump the free throw line pass. The bumps bodies on the way. Foul on the floor. The 5th called on the Rams this half.
Almost inexplicably, Josh Rivera is shooting the 3 ball better this season than he is from the free throw line.
Lamont, the right elbow inbound. Over to Walker, guarded by Dean. Drives left, shoves Dean back, goes up with the right hand. But Chris Walker called for the offensive foul, and that one seemed pretty clear-cut.
Yeah, you can easily see the push there, trying to get some separation as he got into the lane. This Fordham defense, after a slow start and a couple of easy looks for Binghamton, have really settled things down here, and nothing's coming easy for these Bearcats.
19-15, Rams ahead, 8:10 to play in the first. Jaden Smith enters the game, the freshman. Here's Jackie Johnson, left wing, air ball. Binghamton controls the other way. Clock ticks under 8. Gavin Walsh. Straight on for Lamond. Lamond to Benson. Feed down low for Shinnery. Kicks out Walsh. Open 3. Off right iron. Johnson rebound. 7:45 to play. Fordham leads by 4. Johnson drives left. Takes the jumper. That one's good. 4 straight buckets. Or 4 straight points, rather, for Jackie Johnson.
He's going to keep shooting even if they're not falling, and he finds some space there in mid-range even after missing the last 2. Shooters are going to shoot, and Jackie Johnson's a shooter.
Fordham ahead 21-15. Here's the feed straight on for Gavin Walsh. Couple bodies, couple Fordham Rams in the way there. I'll draw the foul when we come back. The 6th foul on the Fordham Rams, 1 shy of the bonus. Fordham 21, Binghamton 15. The Rams on a 15-2 run. Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports. Lou Orlando, Nick Guzman, and now joined by the third member of our crew, Isabella Terracini.
Thanks, guys. You know, you can really see and feel the great energy in the historic Rose Hill Gym right now, from the shot clock violations to the steals and to the fallen one shots. Fans and the bench have been looking alive and scouting all of these turnovers. The student section is really what I would call thriving in the thrill right now. Thank you. See y'all.
You love to see that. Thank you, Isabella. And that is, you talk about storylines that we're going to follow all season long. It's going to be the Rose Hill fans. It seems like there is a tangible impact when they get going. Last year felt like it was marred with less intensity and less enthusiasm, and obviously part of that, the team didn't play as well. But you think back to certain games where the crowd did give their all. I think about that Duquesne game with the game on ESPN2. The crowd brought it, and Fordham had the upset win over a team that was better than them in the A10. So we talk about it a lot, but this is a crowd that can will the Fordham Rams to victory.
Yeah, I mean, Lou, you ever played college football? NCAA College Football 25? The crowd factor is a real thing in college basketball as well. Home court advantage is a real thing, and for Fordham last season, they didn't utilize that as much as they could. And as I mentioned before, it's something that it's a give and a take kind of thing between the students and these Fordham basketball players. If they put out performances and they're a likable, lovable team, which I think they are, this student body is going to respond to that. Everybody loves college sports, even though Fordham isn't necessarily a big athletic school if you think of bigger schools like Syracuse or Ohio State or things like that. That doesn't mean people on this campus don't like sports and don't like college basketball. People are itching to turn out for a competitive college basketball team, and I feel like these Fordham Rams have a good chance to do that.
Fordham picked 14th out of 15 teams in the A10 in the preseason poll. That is not something that anyone in this team agrees with, and I think not something that a lot of people in this Fordham community agree with either. Play resumes, 7:20 left in the first half, Fordham by 4. Lamont drives under the net, wants the kick out, but miscommunication between him and Walker, and another turnover.
9 turnovers now for Binghamton, for the Bearcats. It's this relentless pressure from Fordham, not just in the backcourt, but even there, Binghamton in their offensive set. Just nowhere to breathe for them offensively on the perimeter.
Here's the freshman Ryan Pettis, point guard duties, bounces to Johnson, uses the Zona screen, back to Zona, open right wing 3, it goes! Fordham ahead, 24-15.
And that's his shot. He's billed as a shooter, but just his second made three-pointer of the year so far. But if he's open like that, Matt Zona's a knockdown shooter, even though he's a big.
Pass tipped on the inbound and stolen by Zona. Let's call it 10 turnovers forced by the Fordham Rams. As the full court pressure paying dividends. Johnson right wing, drives up with the left hand, it's whistled dead. Foul on the floor. And that foul going against number 1, Jaden Lamont.
But how about Matt Zona knocking down the 3, then immediately getting back on the defensive end to dive on that loose ball. He didn't play a ton in that game against St. John's because of what Abdu was able to do defensively. But Matt Zona more than holding his own early on in this one. It's been impressive to watch.
Johnson the third to the line for 1-and-1s. Here's the first. It rolls in. Zona, a Notre Dame transfer, started the first 4 games, including this one. He said it. Zona played 10 minutes. Abdu Timbila played 28, but Zona can find a role on this team if he can get the 3-point shot to fall like it did earlier.
And he's not a shooting big. He's a shooter who also happens to be huge at 6'9". And there's a difference. Matt Zona, if he's open, he's going to knock down those shots. And what an asset for Fordham's offense to have.
Johnson 2 of 2 from the line. Fordham their largest lead by 11 with 6.5 to play. Chris Walker bounces to Shinnery. Dean all over him. He uses the Benson screen, swings it left. Ash for 3. Too strong. Pettis pulls down the rebound, but a foul on the floor, and they got Ramad Dean for grabbing down low.
Interesting here for Fordham seeing Jaden Smith get some playing time. Now he's on the bench, but Ryan Pettis in the game. Those guys, the freshmen, didn't play at all against Seton Hall. It was a tight back-and-forth game, but you feel like it's going to be bigger than an 8-man rotation as we continue this season, and Pettis and Smith are going to have big impacts here.
Pettis and Smith both checked in today. And 1-1 goes from Walsh, so he'll get a second. Both teams in the bonus. Binghamton cuts the lead to 10. The crowd gets loud. Walsh is second, rolls out, Dean the rebound, and that's with the student section on the completely other side.
Just imagine what that's going to be like in the second half when they're shooting towards that student section. It's going to be that much tougher.
You're getting me excited, Nick. Less than 6 to play. Jackie Johnson with the ball. Rams lead by 10. Johnson dribbles between the legs. Drives inside. Bounces inside for Ahmad Dean. It's stolen away by Walker. Walker bounced down low for Ash. Swatted away by Pettis. Richardson, outlet pass for Johnson. Johnson, lefty layup all alone. It goes.
That quick hands from Ryan Pettis to strip that ball away. Fordham immediately able to get the ball in transition for the easy lay from Johnson. But how about Pettis, the freshman, and the defensive effort?
Shinnery fakes the left wing three, resets to Walsh. Walsh up top. Fordham has turned defense into offense. 12 points off of turnovers with 5 to play in the first half. Benson, cross-court pass for Shinnery in the corner, 8 on the shot clock. Shinnery drives, kicks out for Walsh. Right wing, drives inside, up with the right hand, it rolls out. The follow through from Walker, no good. A third chance for Binghamton. Walker goes up, this time it rolls in. Binghamton back within 10, less than 5 to play. That time, relentless on the glass from the Bearcats, and that is a strength of this Lavelle Sanders-led program. They've been strong in rebounding ever since his first year with the program. Pettis off a handoff, sends it back to Dean. Just not an accurate pass, it goes out of bounds. And there will be mass changes for the Fordham Rams. Rivera, Riley, and Jaden Smith on. Johnson III, Dean, Zona off.
A lot of rotation here early on for Fordham. There's been a lot of different contributors in this game so far. A misplaced pass there by Ryan Pettis. He's going to stay out there, showing Coach Ergo's trust in him.
4.5 to play. The Rams lead by 10. Walker to Ash, right wing. Back to Walker. Richardson jumps the pass. Pettis gets credited with the steal, but Binghamton gets it right back. Here's Benson, left elbow. Sends it down low for Ash. His shot too short. The follow tapped in by Benson.
Binghamton now attacking the offensive glass. As you mentioned, that's a hallmark of this team. Defensive intensity and then crashing the offensive boards. That's given them 4 points here in this last minute.
Bearcats back within single digits. Clock ticks under 4 minutes in the first half. Bounce feed for Rivera. Spins around the left block. Up with the right hand. No good. Walsh secures the rebound. Pushes with speed. Drops it off for Walker, goes up, absorbs contact, no good. Follow-up, off glass and in.
It's another offensive board there for Binghamton, the second chance points without Abdu Tambila in the game, without Matt Zona in the game. Fordham struggling all of a sudden to secure those defensive rebounds.
When we come back, 3:36 left in the first half. And it's the Bearcats working their way back into this one, 28-22. The Fordham lead. Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
I'm Chaz McAdams.
And I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
And we are two of your hosts for On the Hill, the flagship podcast of Fordham Athletics.
We'll be talking about everything from football at Moglia Stadium
to hoops at the historic Rose Hill Gym,
discussing the ins and outs of all Ram athletes, teams, and big games.
If you want to be part of the Ramily, then listen to On the Hill from WFUV Sports.
Orlando, Nick Guzman, Fordham men's basketball home opener here from the Bronx. Rams a 28-22 lead with 3:36 left in the first half. Binghamton Bearcats maybe a little quiet on the glass to start. It was not going to be easy to keep them quiet all game long, and you're starting to see as this half unfolds, Binghamton have success, particularly on the offensive end of the glass, and it's leading to second chance points.
Fordham are doing a good job early in this game, limiting Binghamton to those one-and-done possessions, but those last 3 trips down, 3 straight buckets for Binghamton, all coming on offensive rebounds, and I think it's notable that it happened with Matt Zona out of the game, with Abdou Timbila out of the game, but even without that size out there, Fordham still need to show commitment to grabbing those defensive rebounds, because if you hold them to one-and-done possessions in transition, Fordham's guard's so quick, you can hit Binghamton back the other way if you just secure that board in the first place.
Binghamton last season 38.5 rebounds per game. That's good for second in the America East, and that's been a staple of these Lavelle Sanders teams. Lavelle Sanders came in 4 seasons ago, and it has been a very clear upwards trajectory ever since he's gotten here. Binghamton, really not thought of as a basketball school, even in the America East, but they have steadily made progress every year with him at the helm.
In each of his 3 years, that progress is tangible with rising win totals. Each year made the semifinals of the America East tournament. The first 2 years last year got knocked out in the quarterfinals, but this is a team with aspirations to go deep in that conference tournament and potentially win the America East.
Walker finishes
and potentially win the America East.
Walker finishes off the end one, and the Fordham lead cut down to 5. 28-23, 3.5 to play in the first half. Richardson calls for the Zona screen, dribbles right, slashes in, into the corner, Riley wide open, it goes! 31-23 the Rams lead as they get 3 points right back.
Zach Riley doesn't shoot often, but when he does, it seems to be a wide open 3, and he's knocked
wing. Takes the open 2, off right iron, Johnson pulls down the rebound, and Evan Ash crashes down on top of him. You can't do that, that will be a foul. And with Fordham in the bonus, that'll be 1-and-1s for Johnson.
We talk about needing to grab those defensive rebounds, and it's Jackie Johnson at 5'11", rising up high and grabbing that board. That shows how much of a commitment he has to the defensive end, and seeing, going into that timeout, Fordham struggling to grab those rebounds, and Jackie taking a hit for the team.
And you know what? That's something he displayed in the exhibition game against UMBC, where he led the team in rebounding, and again, 5'11", but he gets the dirty work done. He sinks the first free throw.
5'11", but can jump incredibly high. Not sure what the vertical is specifically, but he's got hops. An electric first step, too, on the offensive end. Just an all-around great athlete.
1 of 2 trip from Johnson. Fordham ahead 32-23. And even 3 minutes left to play. Lamont has trouble with the bounce feed. Fordham, a couple oohs and ahs. Walsh kicks out to the corner. Stolen by Richardson. Feeds it to Dean before he goes out of bounds. Back into the hands of Richardson. Sends it back to Dean. Right wing 3, too strong. Zona taps at it, but right into the hands of Chris Walker. Fordham by 9. 2:35 to play. Zona pressures him in front of the half-court line. Chenery, left wing. Johnson in his face. Kicks out. Griffin, deep 3, rolls out. Looks like it was swatted by Ramad Dean out of bounds, so staying here with Binghamton, and the shot clock resets to 20.
Walker wanted a foul call on that deep 3, but didn't get it. Ball rims out. Binghamton will inbound here.
There's Walker, top of the key, and again whistles off ball. Will Richardson called for his first foul of the night.
And those are the ones you want to avoid. Yes, you want to play aggressive defense, get up in the face of these Binghamton Bearcats, but especially when they're in the bonus late here in the half, those are fouls you're going to want to avoid.
To the line after the off-ball foul from Will Richardson. 2:12 to play. Bearcats trail by 9. Lamont's first doesn't go. Richardson gets the rebound. A live ball. Empty trip for the Bearcats. Richardson feeds for Zona. Immediately the foul called. And that's Gonna be Ben Callahan Gold again. 3 quick fouls called on him in his limited time on the court.
He's just had trouble dealing with Matt Zona down there. We haven't really seen him use that post-up game so far this season. You know, he's billed as a shooter, but he's got such a big frame down there, just backing in on Callahan Gold, able to draw the foul and get to the free throw line.
Fordham in the double bonus. This will be 2 for Zona. His first rattles in. And Callahan Gold out once again. That's not a stat line you want to see. 2 minutes played, 3 fouls.
Exactly. And in a game like this, where last season you think Fordham struggled so much from the free throw line, second to last in the Atlantic 10, so far 7 of 9 in this one. In a game that there's been a lot of fouls so far, it's imperative that the Rams continue to knock down their free throws.
2 for 2 trip from Zona. The Ram lead back out to 11. And Zona up to 5 points. Excellent free throw shooting, as you said, by the Rams so far. Walker, his pass deflected, but gets to Shinnery. Feeds Benson into the corner for Walsh. Minute 50 to play. Cross corner. This is Griffin, left wing. His 3 goes.
Fordham swarming there in a zone on defense, just losing the man there on the outside. That's going to happen sometimes when you're trying to apply that pressure.
34-26, Fordham ahead. Minute 35 to play in the half. Richardson off the Zona screen, nearly loses it, able to get it into the hands of Johnson in the corner. Back to Richardson, takes the straight on 3, rolls out. Rebound, tapped into the hands of Shinnery. Minute 20, Shinnery kicks Walker, drives, blocked away. Ramon Dean swats it down. It stays here for Binghamton on the double clutch from Walker.
Ramon Dean hasn't really done that much offensively so far this season, but the athleticism on defense on full display on that block, forcing Binghamton to take the ball out.
Lamond with a minute 10. Right wing feed for Shinnery. He's doubled now. Drives right, feeds away. Takes a couple hops off the rim and out. Gavin Walsh going for the rebound, and he's tripped up and fouled.
The textbook over the back fouled out on Walsh. It'll be Fordham going the other way to shoot free throws.
My apologies, Gavin Walsh, the one that does the fouling, and with Fordham in the double bonus, Zach Riley to the line. Chance to make this a 10-point game.
Zach Riley's been a real spark plug for these Rams in this game. Misses the first free throw there, but played between 10 and 15 minutes in those first 2 games against St. John's and Seton Hall. Not going to take a ton of shots offensively, but going to give you that effort on offense. And if you leave him open on the perimeter, he's going to knock down his 3-point shots.
These are the type of role players you need, as Riley goes 1 of 2 from the line. Not going to play 20 minutes a night. Going to hit his open threes, going to play great defense, going to hustle, going to get you some rebounds. Every team needs a guy like Zach Riley.
Especially now in his 4th season as a part of this program. That continuity is huge.
Here's Walker, right wing. 53 seconds and ticking. Fordham ahead by 9. Lamond on the script logo. 10 on the shot clock. Defense chance get going. Shinnery wide open cut and finishes the layup.
Just caught Jackie Johnson sleeping there, able to cut to the back door. Shinnery's the guy that has the keys to this offense as the number 1 option. 8 points so far. It's been a good effort from him.
Will Richardson will cross the timeline and call timeout with 30.2 seconds left. I do think a little curious. Taimu Shinnery has 8 points today. 6 of them have come on wide open cuts to the paint, and that's not someone that you really want to lose track of. 14.9 points per game. Led Binghamton, that was top 10 in the America East. This is, by all accounts, their top scoring threat.
But I think it's obvious that Fordham are trying to apply that pressure on the perimeter super tight. And when that happens, a player with the
this one where Fordham holds
I think so.
Shot clock?
I think so, definitely, especially up by 7. You want to get that clock down, even with the 4-second differential. Make sure that Binghamton don't have an opportunity to go the other way and get a solid offensive possession.
Riley will be the trigger man on the near side. Zona, Dean, Johnson, and Will Richardson make up the remainder of the 5. Riley feeds Richardson, and he'll hold in front. Content to stay there. Shot clock ticks under 15. Game clock ticks under 20. 10 on the shot clock. Richardson still in front of half court. Here comes the screen right from Zona. 5 on the shot clock. Richardson cross court. Riley wide open in the corner. The 3 rolls in. 5 seconds left. Fordham a 10-point lead. Walker won't get a shot off as halftime expires, or as the first half expires. Zach Riley's three.
Did Fordham just draw a play for Zach Riley coming out of that timeout?
Well, how about that? It's the second time in this game that we've seen Will Richardson dribble on the wing and then kick open to a wide open Zach Riley in the corner. And Zach Riley, he can hit an open three now and then, and he does to give Fordham a double-digit lead going into halftime.
How about Zach Riley, Fordham's leading scorer on the day with 10 points so far. What an effort from him. 3 for 3 from deep. And for Zach Riley, a guy that we've all seen as a role player these last 4 years, and gets the screen from zone of the
three, gives him the team lead in scoring. It's Zach Riley, 10 points as we enter halftime. Riley, 9 points. Jackie Johnson, the third. Riley, 10. Jackie Johnson, the third, 9 points. And it results in a 10-point lead for the Fordham Rams. The home opener, the crowd packed here at the Rose Hill Gym, and Fordham in a pretty good spot after one. That takes us into halftime, and with no studio crew, we've put together a little special something for you. How about a sit-down with Will Richardson and John Muir Tripp, orchestrated by no other than Nick Guzman sitting right next to me, and the third member of our crew, Chaz McAdams. So without further ado, here's John Muir and Will.
Welcome back into the studio. Nick Guzman here alongside Chaz McAdams. Pleased to be joined now. John Muir Tripp and Will Richardson joining us in the studio. Guys, how you doing?
Thanks for having us, man.
So the first thing I want returnees, we were both here last year. Last season obviously didn't go the way everybody hoped it would. 13-20, 6-12 in the A10. I'm curious in your guys' mind, like, what went wrong last year and what needs to change after last season?
You want to start?
Yeah. I feel like what went wrong with our team last year, I feel like talent-wise, we could compete with anybody, and I feel like everybody on the team thought that. I just felt like when it came to connectivity and just being one unit and stepping on the same beat, we had trouble doing that. But we had found it at the end of the year where we had won that first game against Davidson in the tourney. I just feel like this year we kind of changed that, and the people we have in the locker room are, like, we're talented and we're connected, so I feel like we could go far with that.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. Just less egos than last year.
Yeah.
Kind of make it easier. A lot of guys just get along. This year, everything's just way smoother. And that was something we lacked last year. So I definitely feel like this year is going to be way better just because of that fact alone. So
obviously losing a lot of, like, your older guys, like you lose Kyle, you lose Trell. Like, who do you think stepped up in the locker room, like, to be, like, the guy, kind of like the next man up leader?
I feel like Jaffe did a good job with that, but I feel like all the returners kind of have that, like, mentality. Like, we was there last year, Bills, and kind of we just all, like, step up together. Kind of not, like, depending on one person, but we all know we have to.
Each other?
Yeah, feel me? So kind of that's how I look at it. I feel like I know I got to go. I feel like I could be a Kyle Rose. He could be a Kyle Rose. Like, it's multiple because we all was with him last year. We watched him, and I feel like we all got that from him. So
I agree with that. I feel like as a unit, like, we don't rely on one person to lead us. We rely on each other, and we're going to lead each other, and we're going to hold each other accountable, and that's what makes us good.
Guys, so many new exciting additions for you guys. Jackie Johnson from UNLV, Matt Zona, who you played with in high school at Bergen Catholic. What impact of these?
Big impact. I feel like since the summer when they first came in, like, they're in with the bigs, helping Abdul, pushing Abdul to be better, pushing Jaden to be better. I just feel like them being with us helped us a lot.
No, yeah, definitely. Just know he's a senior. Like,
I just feel like them being with us helped us a lot.
No, yeah, definitely. Just know he's a senior. Like, it's his last year too. He's coming in greedy, hungry. He's trying to have a good year. He's trying to, and he's always gonna push guys like Jaffe and Will at the point guard spot. And that's kind of what it was. Like, as soon as they got here, Matt came, push and do. We kind of just had battles like every day in practice in the summer. So that was something that just made us a way better team off the rip first summer session.
And you see, just walk me through your mentality when you see, obviously, opening St. John's Seton Hall is not like a normal A10 schedule. Like, there are not a lot of A10 teams that have the confidence to do that. Like, just walk me through your guys' thought process when you first saw that.
Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that echoes what we got from Joe and Jaffe is, like, it's a revenge tour this year. Just, like, how ready are you guys to when you guys see that you're ranked, the A10 preseason polls is ranking you guys 14th, like, how much motivation does that give you guys to go out and ball?
A lot. Like, we already at the bottom, so it's just like now we just got to prove everybody else wrong. So it's kind of only mindset. Like he said earlier, like, we knew how good we were last year, even though we had certain obstacles, and now we just got to prove the same thing this year and just actually get it right. So
when you're at the bottom, it's only one way to go.
Yep.
It's up.
Yeah.
Simple.
And even with like all the new additions you guys have, you guys are still returning 60% of your scoring from last year. So in your mind, like how important is that kind of continuity from one year to the next?
I mean, it feels good. Like we're kind of living in it right now.
Yeah.
Just seeing how everyone scores the ball and how everybody kind of knows the plays. It's just something that's easier and is making practices run smoother because we got a bunch of returners, guys that have the knowledge already from last year. So the freshmen are doing a good job picking up what we're trying to teach them from last year because we were already here. So we don't waste as much time going over certain things, and it just makes everything smoother for real.
Will, I kind of want to get your perspective because with Tripp out, we've seen what I saw in the preseason games, like RP and Zach, like kind of taking some of those minutes. Like, how nice is it to know that you have guys like that you can rely on when like a next man up mentality where you can just like go.
Yeah, it's really good because our team last year we had like next, and I feel like now like especially with those two guys, Zach and RP, like with Tripp being hurt and them picking up like just being hungry, being ready, and still encouraging Tripp like, yo, we need you to come back. We can't wait for you to come back. Like that.